Okay, I am live. I'm just having some issues. What's going on? You know, I lost my voice. I don't know why. I lost my voice and I lost my connection. Getting warm. Why is it not going on here? Come on. There we go. I'm live on TikTok. I've been probably live for a little bit now. Okay. Am I live? Did this cut out? Or am I live? No, I'm not live on here. What's going on? Sorry, technical issues. Having technical issues. And I don't think I'm live on Instagram anymore, so I might as well just end that. Discard. We'll just end that. Not worry about Instagram. So it should say I'm live on everything else but Instagram. I'm just too lazy to play around with that too. Okay, sorry about that. I apologize. I don't know what I was saying. I was saying something. First off, it's way too warm in here now, and I'm wearing a sweater, and I don't want to take off my sweater. So I'm going to open my window to a really windy day. Get some airflow. The airflow is good for me anyways. I'm just using a colorless pencil to really push that pigment into the paper. Different things you can use for blending. If you don't have a colorless pencil, you can use a white pencil crayon to go over top of it. It fills in the gaps a little bit better, but it makes it lighter. It looks more pastel. You can use the lightest color in that section for blending. It kind of keeps the color a little bit more vivid, a little bit better than white. You can use a colorless marker for blending. And if you don't have that, you can also use hand sanitizer and a Q-tip, or do some research, figure out what kind of pencils you are using, you can get like different solutions for different pencils, and then you use like a firm paintbrush to help blend it. Each one has its pros and cons. Using any of the pencils will kind of give you more of like a painted look, like an oil painting or an acrylic painted look. Or with the markers and the solutions and the hand sanitizer, those all kind of give it more of like a watercolor or alcohol-based marker look to it. So you get to choose, you get to figure out what you like and what you don't like. And there's more than one way to get the job done. I think the hair looks a lot better than it did. And I think I might go in there still with some brown, especially in the shorter hair, to create a few little hairs that just really pop, really stick out. So I'm doing very small strokes for this, just to create a little bit more texture. And that's what I like about blending with the colorless pencil, is that you can still add more detail over top of it, the blended layer. You can't do this very well if you're using a colored pencil, because the color pencil will fill in those gaps and then you can't add any more to it. Especially if you're using Prismacolor pencils. Those are really hard to layer because the wax just fills it up super quick, fills up that paper super quick. So there is a limit to how many layers you can do depending on the pencils you have. So you gotta be very careful. So I'm just putting in a few defining little hairs to create more texture over top of those blended sections. I need to remember to drink water. I'm super dehydrated. I got a really horrible headache. There's also some colored pencils that will erase a little bit for you too. So that's another thing that you can look into as well. If that's something that you want to be able to do, is erase. Sometimes it's not as important as other things that your pencils can do, so just weigh out the pros and cons for yourself before you decide what you want to use. So what do you think? Is the hair looking good on camera? Sometimes I focus so much onto the drawing that I can't really see it from a distance and what it looks like. His hair is so crazy. Like, take a look at this. Take a look at this. It's just crazy. When he has his hair super long, it's like super curly and it's super cute. But he doesn't like his hair being brushed. So we have to cut it every so often. And there's another trick. He doesn't like his hair cut either. So there's that. There's only one way we've been able to get him to get a haircut, and that is if we keep him away from his tablet long enough and then say, hey, if you sit down and watch your tablet while I cut your hair, that would be great. And then he would do it because he really wants his tablet. We usually do that when we're camping because we want him to interact with testing one. Hello? Yeah, this is going to drive me crazy. If I can't get this fixed by Friday, I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know what I'm going to do. Okay, if I cut out randomly, it's because I gave up on this. I gave up on doing the live. But I'm going to try to stay on a little longer. Is it still stuck? Why did TikTok stop? Like, my Facebook's working fine. Okay, I am going to go over this with my eraser to get some highlights. So I'm going to clean the eraser. So did this just shut off? No internet connection. Why? Okay, that's not connected. Why isn't this connected? Okay, it's on now. Is it working? I am so sorry. Am I stopped on Facebook now? Did I stop? No, I'm still live on Facebook. I don't know if I'm on YouTube. Let me see if I can find myself on YouTube. Just to make sure that's working. I should be able to get the comments still. Just take a look. Okay, let's switch counts so I can actually see myself. Yeah, it says I'm live on YouTube. Is it working? My cameras aren't working. It says I'm live. There we go. And then let's find me on Twitch, just to make sure that's going. I don't know if the comments are running or not. I'm glad that this isn't a big deal or anything for me. Because that's one of the reasons why one of the cameras doesn't want to work for you. Why isn't it working? Like, it shows it's working on my end, but then when I go to any of the streaming services, streaming stuff, it's not showing up. Let me just play around with stuff here. That's not working. Why isn't the phone working? You can't see what's on my phone. Why? Why can't you see anything that's on my phone? Nothing here. It shows it's working here. And nothing here. This is gonna drive me crazy. Okay. So, let's do something. See if I can fix this. I'm going to disconnect my phone from Restream. Or not Restream. I'll disconnect it. Should be disconnected. Is it disconnected? Why isn't it showing? It stopped. It completely just stopped. That's probably why. Go into Mevo Go, start the broadcast. Is it back on? Even that doesn't want to work. It says it's connecting. Why isn't it connecting? This is driving me crazy. Not good at all. That is the main reason why I'm even on here, is to show you the app. Let's disconnect it for a minute and reconnect it. I got it. I have high-speed internet. It should work. Studio. Is it working now? I don't know if it's the internet or if it's just the system I'm using. I'm still kind of live, but
like,
I think
you have bars?
It just cuts out every so often, and I did get one to work. I got, yeah, it seems to be working now, but it was just glitching out. I don't know if it's the internet or if it's just my apps that I'm using for this.
Should we figure out a way to get you on a wire connection?
I don't know if a wire connection will work because, like, I'm using a lot of wireless things.
I guess.
Like, because, like, the issue is starting with the little tablet that I'm controlling everything. And then it just streams out to everything else. And I don't really think, well, actually you can now. You can do a wired connection with that modem we have for tablets and phones.
I don't know.
But it's just like, that kind of seems weird. It's unusual. But anyways. No, you can't. You got golden shoe? It does charge. Yes. I need to get stuff done. There's a button somewhere. I just don't know where it's at. Oh, I did have it charged. It must have died.
The other
Charge
shoe.
it.
The other shoe works.
Okay. I gotta go. Love you. Okay, I think I fixed the glitch. I think I did. But I don't know. Let's see. Okay, so I'm going to take my eraser, my electric eraser, and I'm just going to pick up some highlights, pick up some of the color. I'm still just doing small strokes for this. I just really want to get some lighter sections to make it more, give it more contrast. It doesn't do a whole bunch, but it does enough. And this only really works with some pencil crayons. It doesn't work with all pencil crayons. It also works better if you have like a few layers instead of a whole bunch. It didn't do a whole bunch, but I think it did enough. I think. Now let's take a look at the hair as a whole through the app and see if I can make any adjustments to make it look better. Okay, I think I can add some more hair. Add a little bit more shadows here. It felt like something was missing. So we're just doing individual strokes, picking up the pencil every single time you place it down, following the direction of the hair. We can do some longer strokes on the top of his head because there are longer hair. We do smaller strokes in the side because that's shorter hair. But we don't need to have a continuous line going straight from the root to the tip. You don't need to do that because the color of the hair is going to change. It's going to have lighter spots and darker spots for each strand of hair. So we don't need to do strokes all the way through. Anyways, I gotta stop for a minute to film the process so that I can get paid for my work. I'm gonna drink something. So the right angle. So every so often I will stop to film a little bit of the process. This is for my work. And what I do is I make tutorials and advertisements, and I even teach live on the Vinci Eye App YouTube channel. So as long as I create videos from the process of my drawings, I get paid for it. So there's a few things that I do. I teach online on their YouTube channel. I also accept commissions. So if you are an artist, I can help you with that kind of stuff, learning and whatever. Or if you like art and want art done, I can do that for you too. I'm just a busy person who likes to do multiple things at once. I think his hair is pretty good. Let's move on to his shirt. It is coming together very slowly, but it is coming together. So we're going to take the knead eraser and we're going to erase some of those lines. And I think we're going to focus mostly on the blue parts of his shirt. I'm going to leave the chickens and the Superman symbol alone during this. Actually, let's just erase most of everything. It doesn't have to be completely removed. It's just, I want to get the dark marks off so it doesn't pop through the colors of the colored pencil and stuff, because it will stick. Those graphite marks will stay underneath and they are going to be a little visible. So we want to get rid of that. For some reason, the pencils are kind of smudging a little bit. Okay, let's zoom in to one section at a time. And let's put all these colors away that we used for everything else. We're going to get rid of them. Well, actually, I think I might take the moment here to build up a little bit more color on his cheek. So light pressure and circular motions. It's just that cheek needs a little bit more color in it. And then a little bit of a shadow underneath his ear. Okay, so now we're going to put all these pencils away and we're going to start collecting different pencils. So let's compare and see what colors we're going to need that are the lightest version, like the lightest color in that in general area. So I think we need this blue, and we can also pick out some other colors. Pretty much every single blue that we have, except for the super lightest. So that one and that one. I think then this one right here is. And then what other colors do we see? We see some black. Maybe a little bit of purple. For the shadows, do I see any other colors in here? Not really. Didn't really film too much about the process in that one, but that's fine. Got plenty of opportunities to do more. So we're going to start off with the lightest color. I'm going to fill in all of it with this light color. Just doing the outline first. If you want to be more accurate, you can turn off the strobe, turn down the opacity until you can just barely see the tip of your pencil, and then just trace just on the inside of that line that separates his shirt from the background. And then you can turn up the opacity again and turn on the strobe again. You're just going to fill that in. If you fill it in a little bit past where you can see it, that will help kind of bring everything together, blend it in really nice. So we're going to do light pressure and circular motions. We're going to slowly build up that blue, just slowly. We'll start off with the lightest colors we see. And we're going to move into the darker colors as we go. You can start building up some of the pattern too. Just light pressure and circular motions. Does it need to get darker still? I think a little bit Mostly just on the edge is where I see a darker color still. Just the edge of this design here. And let's just get everything just kind of started before we start adding some more, like getting sections even darker. We're just going to get it started. So turn off the turn off the strobe and turn down the opacity so I can see the tip of my pencil, just tracing the inner edge of that shirt. Now I know there's a little bit of black and also a little bit of like this dark purple, it looks like, in these lines. So I'm going to trace those lines too. Right where the seams are is where I see it. And it's just light pressure. Now I'm going to go in with the lighter blue. We're going to fill in that entire area with that light blue, doing light pressure and circular motions. We'll build up the intensity of the colors a little later. Just kind of want to get the basics down. Then let's get the shapes of the prints on here too. There is a lot going on with this shirt, but if you don't get it perfect, if it's not exact, that's fine. You don't even have to do any of these extra little details if you don't want to. You can just have it just plain. It's your choice. It's your artwork. We're just doing light pressure and circular motion, slowly building it up. Just kind of want to slowly add more and more. And moving on, I'm just going to add this dark color here. Just going to skip over doing the other colors I think this darker one's perfectly fine, and that's it for this layer. It's just a small area, and so I don't want to worry too much about the layers. Okay. Hi, Jenya. I know, honey, you want to hang out with me. Well, I'll be done in about 15 minutes, and then I'm going to go offline, and you can come color with me at your table, okay? I'm just tracing the inner edge of the outline of the shirt. Also, I'm going to do the same around the noisy chicken. Just do an outline there. We already did an outline around the face, so we don't need to worry about that. Just keep it in that section, doing circular motions and light pressure. I'm doing fairly tight circular motions so I can really fill that in without having much of any pencil strokes. You want to try to avoid those harsh pencil strokes so we can get a nice smooth finish. Going into the next color. Starting to build up the shadows and the textures, like the different patterns, everything on there. Just get the generic placement of things. And then we can worry about getting the right colors, the right intensity later. Just want to have a good foundation first. And I'm going in with a darker shade. Just again, light pressure and circular motions. We want to have a really nice smooth finish. I'm going to go in really in those dark shadows. Still, we're just doing light pressure and circular motions though. And adding a little bit of black to those really dark areas too. So something you don't see on my screen is that I'm streaming it onto my TV just above my head. Okay, taking that light blue, we're going to trace around the edges, just tracing the inside of that edge where the shirt is. This gives us more accurate placement. And then we fill it in the entire space, doing light pressure and circular motions. And then we can add the details over top of it. Going in with the darker colors now, and we're going to start adding those little details. The little textures, the print, I'm going to add those darker sections. We're just slowly building up the colors. Somebody's cooking something. I'm sorry I went silent and it's getting pretty boring. It's just I got really frustrated with this streaming stuff because it kept shutting down. So I just stopped talking, just started focusing on drawing more. So just working from light to dark. Okay, we are going to trace around the symbol on his shirt, just on the inner part of his shirt. So we're just tracing very edges of blue with the light colored pencil, and we're going to fill that in. Well, I think that's going to be it for my live. Before I leave, though, my name's Charity Lowe. My 9 to 5 is working for the Vinci Eye App. I make tutorials and tutorials and advertisements, and I even teach live on their YouTube channel. So if you want to learn how to draw like this using the app, you can join me every Friday from 10 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Mountain Daylight Time. I do take requests for commissions there are different levels of like what I charge. If you allow me to do it for a live video, the thing is I can't postpone it. It will be live. I can't tell you how long it's going to take and it's going to take a while. But those are for only 11 by 14 inch drawings, graphite or colored pencils for photorealistic stuff. So yeah, if that's something you want, that's something you can do. And then if you allow me to make it into a tutorial or an ad, I can postpone posting it. So it's great for like gifts and stuff. And I can give you a better idea of when it's going to be done, and it'll be done quicker. And that would have a 65% discount for that. My full prices are based off of how much I get per hour by the Vinci Eye App and the average hours that it takes me to do a certain piece according to the size and color of it. So they're pretty straightforward prices. They're not going to fluctuate from hour to hour. So yes. And then for teaching you how to do art, I won't just teach you how to do portrait art. I can also do many different subjects. I like to focus on realistic art because of the app, but I can do wood burning, fabric painting, stained glass painting, quilling, soft pastel, watercolors, acrylics, pens, markers, and so much more. I will even learn new things, do a lot of studying on them, and then share my favorite tips that I find very useful for beginners. And then you could also request me, like you can request me to do stuff, but you can also request to challenge me. So like say you want me to do drawing all monotoned colors, or do a realistic portrait with just the primary colors. So yeah, I am doing a lot, and there's so much things that you can do to interact with me. So thank you so much for your support. I plan to go live every day from Monday to Thursday here from 10 to 12, give or take, depending on how long it takes me to do my other work and how much time I have before I have to be somewhere else. And then, yeah, every Friday on the Vinci Eye App.